Let's talk about the invisible barriers of the internet and the massive audience that all too often gets left behind. We're diving into digital accessibility, and I'm going to kick things off with a few numbers that might just change the way you see the web.
First up, 1.3 billion. According to the World Health Organization, that is the number of people around the globe living with some form of disability. Think about that for a second. That's 1 in every 6 of us. This is not some niche group. It's a huge part of our global community, and they rely on the internet just like everyone else.
Okay, now this one is a real wake-up call. 71% of users with disabilities will just leave a website immediately if it's not accessible. Poof, they're gone. So if your digital front door is locked, you're not just being exclusionary, you are literally turning away a massive, loyal audience from the very first click.
So yeah, those opening numbers, they really hint at a much bigger story, don't they? This isn't some fringe issue that affects the small group of people.
Now, if the sheer size of the opportunity isn't enough to convince you, let's flip the coin and look at the risks.
This table really lays it out. Legally, you're looking at an average lawsuit settlement between 25 and 75 grand, and that's before you even think about the massive legal fees. For your brand, the hit is immediate, an average 18% drop in positive sentiment online. And for the business itself, we're talking more than $6.9 billion in lost e-commerce sales every single year just in the US. The cost of shutting people out is steep.
And the damage isn't just a one-time thing, it's long-term. 86% of users who have just one bad experience on an inaccessible site, they will never come back. That first impression becomes a permanently closed door.
So we've covered the why, the huge human and business reasons that this matters so much. Now let's get really clear on the what. What exactly are we talking about when we say digital accessibility?
At its heart, the idea is actually pretty simple. Digital accessibility just means designing our websites, our apps, and our content so that they can be used by everyone. It's all about intentionally removing barriers, making sure that someone who uses, say, a screen reader or navigates with a different type of keyboard has the exact same access and opportunity as anyone else.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we make it happen? Well, thankfully, there's a really powerful and, more importantly, a memorable framework that guides all of this work. It's an acronym that's super easy to remember. P-O-U-R. POUR.
Let's break down POUR really quick. First up, P is for perceivable. Can people actually take in the information? This is why we add alt text to images for screen readers or captions to videos. Next, O is for operable. Can people use the interface? For example, can someone get to every single part of your site using only their keyboard? Then, U is for understandable. Is it clear? Is it easy to follow? This means using plain language and consistent navigation. And finally, R is for robust. Does it work with different technologies, both now and in the future? This makes sure your site is compatible with all the assistive tools that people really depend on.
All right, so those are the principles. But principles are one thing, putting them into practice is another. So let's look at a practical roadmap for actually getting started on building a more accessible web.
Now, it is so tempting to think that technology can just solve this for us, but it can't. Automated tools are a great place to start, for sure, but they only catch about a third of all accessibility problems because they have no idea about context. Real accessibility, true accessibility, it requires a human-centric approach. Nothing can replace the insights you get from expert reviews, and most importantly, from actual users with disabilities.
So here it is, a simple roadmap to start your journey. First stop, education. Get your entire team on the same page about the basics. Next, you have to test your stuff using that blended approach. A little automation, a lot of human insight. The most critical step is to listen. Actively involve people with disabilities in your design process. And finally, you got to integrate it. Make accessibility a core part of your process from day one, not just some checkbox at the very end. So we'll leave you with this one question to think about. Your website, your app, your content, all of it. That's the digital front door. So take a moment and just ask yourself honestly, is that door truly open to everyone?